actually super humid in here. I think all of New York is just like humid. I didn't know that. Oh yeah, spoiler, I'm in New York. One of my biggest passions in doing photography is definitely doing street photography. Although, I mean, if you have been following my Instagram, I have not really posted too much of street photography related content just because I feel that my audience kind of shifted into a little bit more of like your typical type of photography, which would be like couples, weddings, and stuff like that, especially maternity content. But at the end of the day, guys, I really do consider myself a street photographer at heart. Any type of urban photography is that's like I lose my mind. So luckily I was able to come to New York for a specific gig. So I do have to myself a couple of hours before this gig. And then right after the gig is done, I like fly back to California. I only have about 4 hours to run to the city, get some street photos, and then take you guys along to basically make my dreams come true. Like, you guys don't know how big this is for me. When I started off doing photography, guys, I was 16 years old. I already knew that one day that was my goal, to be in New York, do street photography. What is it now? Oh my god, like 10 years later, holy crap, I am here in New York. Wow. I'm gonna go ahead and get ready, that way I can start heading out and get some photos done. Okay, so long story short, I kind of fucked up. Okay, let me get a little bit more into details. I guess it wasn't as bad as I'm trying to make it seem, but it did seem that bad and that much of a fuck up the day it happened. So, like I said in the video, I really only had about 4 hours to myself, and that included getting ready to go out because I had been traveling the whole day and I wasn't feeling, you know, just proper. And then besides that, I had to make my way from my hotel all the way to the city itself, which was about an hour and 20-minute Uber ride. But the biggest thing that was a factor, especially that day, was definitely the weather. The weather was not favorable whatsoever. It had been kind of like raining on and off throughout the whole day. So when I had gotten there, it looked kind of pretty clean and open. As I was getting ready to finish and everything, I was looking even through like the weather app. The chances of rain were getting like way more intense the closer I got to the time I thought I was going to be at the city. So I make my way out to the city. I hadn't really done street photography in about like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 months. It's one of those things that, you know, the more you do it, the better you kind of are at it. Just like anything else. So if you stop doing it for a minute, you're not going to be as good as you kind of originally were. So I started taking a couple of photos just to kind of get me warmed up, get me in the zone. And obviously, as you're doing photos, you're obviously able to see what you took a photo of. And sometimes you are able to tell like, yo, this is a great photo. This photo sucks. Or this like, oh, this photo has potential. You're able to tell those little things that you can just hype yourself up as you're going. But for some reason, I kept taking photos and nothing was like giving me that like awesome inspiration or that awesome confidence boost of like, yo, you're getting good photos. And I don't know if it was because of the long day of travel. I really don't know what was going on at that specific moment. I ended up only being able to do photos for about 40 minutes in the city because it started raining. And I did try to get some photos throughout the rain when it would kind of stop a little bit. New York rain compared to California rain is like night and day. So I was not prepared for it. I ended up getting super soaked. So I was like, you know what? Like, let's just call it a day. And in those 40 minutes, like it was just like knowing that I was fighting the weather, knowing that like I only had a little bit of time to be there because I wanted to be well rested. I guess all this like pressure and like expectations I was giving myself to like, yo, make your dream come true. You're here right now. You're doing these photos. You're gonna get some amazing things. I was just putting unnecessary pressure to myself and I was taking all the fun away from it. So I got back to my hotel. I was reviewing the photos that I knew probably weren't good. I ended up hating all of those photos because I felt like I had just failed a dream of mine. And it's putting it simply, it was just that. Like I thought I had an opportunity and I blew it. Like simple as that. Yeah, I kind of set myself up for failure and overhyping it in a certain way, but I was able to redeem myself. The same clients I was able to work with ended up hiring me again, and I got another opportunity to go back to New York for round 2, guys. It was actually a more hectic day because the same day I flew in was the same day I was gonna go do the photos for my clients. But the difference is that this time our gig was actually in the city. The actual venue where we were gonna be working at was only like a 20-minute walk from my hotel. I can get to my hotel, get some rest, and, you know, prepare myself for everything and make my way to my gig, and in that way kind of try to do as much photos as I can. So I felt better. I wasn't just pressuring myself. This time I knew, like, just go have fun, do some photos on your walk. That's all it's gonna be. It's gonna be a walk, get whatever you can on the way there, and that's it. You know, obviously I had to stop by some pizza again because, I mean, why the f walk, wouldn't I? And then I just kept walking and just doing photos. And this time it was just way more fun. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of my GoPro footage of the second trip, which was a successful trip. So basically we're gonna hop into a bit of a voiceover. I'm gonna walk you through kind of the shots that I took, what was the mentality behind taking those shots, and kind of like what I think about the photos. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and so for the first shot, this was actually right across the street from my hotel. So I see this person just standing. So this is a photo that we get. I was like, yo, this is actually a decent shot to start off the day. So that got me a little bit hyped. Like I said before, seeing your shots throughout as you're doing them, like it hypes you up for sure. As we're walking, we see this one person, which I just think captures the essence of what Times Square is. This guy is kind of just chilling, like he's in the middle of this hectic chaos going on around him, and I just love this photo. This was like, oh my god. I honestly wish there was more people a little bit like in front and maybe a little bit more behind him, but overall it kind of really just captured that like feeling of like, you know, a person in a really hectic environment. So I am a sucker for that photo for sure. I didn't want to stick around Times Square just because there's way too much people, and I feel that sometimes, you know, in order to focus on a certain subject, it's kind of hard when you have like too many people around you. So I kept walking around and I got to this little like, I don't know what this is, but there was a person kind of just sitting down there, and I decided to take a photo of them. And I got this photo, but I do think that the photo is a little bit busy. We have him in a pretty decent spot for the photo itself. You have, you know, your foreground with like the do not smoke sign and everything like that, also like that metal edge. So I actually decided to kind of reframe myself and try to like get a cleaner shot of that. So I just moved in a little bit more, you know, focused in on the same subject again, and then I got this photo. So this, you know, with my body, I was covering the reflection, but we are able to focus a little bit more on our subject just to kind of have, again, a little bit more of that lonely feeling. I guess that was a bit more of like the theme for the shoot, was just, you know, a little bit of being lonely. Here I just kind of keep, you know, wandering on. Then I see this man in his business suit. Obviously I love business suits, traditional trope to use in street photography. So I just don't even know how to explain this photo. I just know the lights look freaking dope and our subject looks super awesome. Obviously when I try to take photos of people, I do try to have their legs a little bit separated, like right here. So in order for me to get that, I always shoot with burst mode. This photo to me, like, it's probably, you guys probably think it's trash, but I love this photo. I fell in love with it. The editing process, everything from this photo, just, we have so many shapes with like the building itself. The lights itself gives us a lot of shapes, and then we have our subject, and he's also sub-framed in this nice little like split between light and, I don't know, there's a lot of elements in this photo, but I fucking love it. Now we kept walking for a little bit. I saw these person kind of just hanging out, and then this is the photo that I got. Really nothing too crazy about it. I honestly don't even like it. I just decided to edit it to show you guys that not every photo can be a banger. I try to avoid shooting homeless just because it's like, okay, like I don't want to exploit them too much, but this person looked pretty curious. It just reminded me, like, especially being in New York, it reminded me of Home Alone, like the pigeon lady. I edited black and white just because I didn't take the best photo in my opinion, so I just didn't feel like spending too much time on it. So after walking a little bit again, I just saw this like security guard kind of just hanging out, and he's just posed so like non-threatening, non-security imposing. So I love that message that this photo gives. Okay, for this next shot, the photo at the end of it kind of sucked, but I just want to show you guys a little bit of a technique when you're taking photos. Right here, I was gonna take a photo of a person inside this little like magazine booth, but they were actually looking at me. So I pretended to take a photo of like the skyscraper on top first, and then after that I kind of just like pan down and I take a photo of them, and then I whip back up again to the skyscraper to, you know, sell the fact that I was like, oh, I was taking a photo of the, you know, the skyscraper, but then I just looked down at you, but I didn't take a photo of you, sir. So if you guys want to see that more in action, or for me to do a video of like tricks to get away in street photography of taking photos of people, I would love to do that. I thought this photo would be pretty cool with like, you know, the building and everything, just like some symmetric lines, but then it was too dark. The photo, I don't know. Like I said before, I edited black and white just to show you guys that not every photo is a good photo. Okay, so for this shot, I was about to arrive to where my location was that I was going to be working for that day, and I see these two little like kids, but they're kind of just like hanging out, and I just love that they just look like, you know, two little businessmen kind of just chilling. It's not the best photo, but you know, the kids are vibey. It's a vibey photo. That's the only reason I like this shot, to be honest. Okay, at this point, actually, this is the balcony of where the event was going to be taking place for my actual job that day. So I took a photo of this building. Don't tell me which one that is, because I don't even know. I think it's the Empire State Building. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, everyone's always saying like, dude, you only take street photography photos with people in them, and I'm like, shut up, here's a building. Okay, so those were the photos from the second trip that I was able to do. The photos aren't the most amazing ones I've ever done in my whole entire life, but I was still, at the end of the day, able to complete my goal that I've had since I was 16. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is just kind of me wanting to tell a little bit more of like my personal story. I thought I everything up, and I thought like I ruined my one chance and I was never gonna be able to redeem myself. But luckily I was, and even if I wasn't, the first photos from the first trip, it was a success. They were great photos. Looking back on them now and editing them, like I was in the wrong mentality to appreciate the art that I was creating. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit from my screw ups, but if not, I hope you guys just enjoyed a couple of these street photography photos. You know, I really want to know which one of those photos was your favorite if you did have one. Regardless, thank you for checking out today's video. I hope it wasn't a long video. I hope I didn't get too kind of like, you know, preachy because I don't think I'm kind of good at that. But yeah, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, feel free to share this video. Point is, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for checking out my channel. And also, typically, I don't never know what to put on this TV. So I did put my channel, and I noticed it's pretty like narcissistic. So I'm probably not gonna do that again. But yeah, guys, thank you for stopping by. Have a beautiful rest of your night. And yeah, just have fun. Keep taking photos. Keep creating. Follow me on Instagram. Also, that's where I post a lot of my stuff. All right, cool, awesome, bye.